A trip to the league leaders without a win on the road all season. No matter. Argyle are still on cloud 9 after last weekend.
Chips inside, plays it in. Shot from Kendall off the line, round it is! Yes! 100 appearance for Argyle in the Liverpool tent!
Yeah, what a day that was, wasn't it? I think a moment Adam Randall will never, ever forget. Fairy tale stuff for the Argyle midfielder on his 100th game, of course, to get that winner for the club that he supports. He's been at since the age of 9. Absolutely incredible scenes. But as good as last weekend was, and it certainly was, believe me, they're still on cloud 9 right now. Today is as tough as it gets. A trip to the King Power Stadium to take on a Leicester side who also won it late last weekend as well. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Charlie Price. This is Argyle TV's pre-match show with Argyle up in Leicester to take on former Premier League champions. It's not often you get to say that as an Argyle supporter. What an afternoon we have in store for you. Going well at home, of course, for Argyle, but yet to pick up a result on the road, whereas Leicester City are incredibly strong at home. They've lost just twice and conceded just 4 goals in their 9 matches at King Power Stadium so far this season. If you're not one of the 3,000 lucky enough to be up in Leicester this afternoon, you can, of course, follow the game live here on Argyle TV. We have commentary for you, and you can stream the game live as well if you're based overseas. All of the details are on our website, pafc.co.uk. But between now and kickoff, we've got a lot of building up to do, and to help us through it is the former Argyle defender Brian McGlinchey. Brian, afternoon to you. I'm going to just put it out there. Today's going to be tough, isn't it? Yeah, and that elusive away win we're searching for. I think the pressure's off us. To be honest, I think the pressure's on Leicester. They've got to go and get promotion with the budget they've got and all the investment they've done. So this could be one of those results where we don't expect to maybe get a result, and we actually do. So, yeah, I think the lads can go and relax and get on the ball and enjoy the occasion. And this is why we got promoted, to have these sort of days. And you never know. Just a moment like we saw at the start there from last weekend could well, I don't know, ignite something in the players, in the squad. Yeah, 100%. And we'll look at the lineups in a second, but there's a lot of players there that haven't played in a while, so they'll be want to put it down a statement and give the manager a bit of a headache. So you never know in football. Football give up strange results, but look, it's all about what Argyle just go away there with confidence and enjoy the occasion, and don't fear. Don't come off that pitch thinking we should have done this, we should have done that. Just go and give it everything. Well, let's have a look at the side, shall we? Since you've notched it up for us. Plenty of milestones last weekend, none today, but Stephen Schumacher has made quite a few changes, 6 in total actually from the side that won against Stoke last weekend. Joe Edwards comes back in to skipper the side. In fact, there are 3 changes across that back 4. Plymouth comes back in for Dan Scarr, and Mikael Miller on the left instead of Brendan Galloway. Adam Randall, who of course got that winner late on, he and Butcher come into the midfield with Cundle and Houghton dropping out. And there is a start for the former Leicester City youngster Callum Wright, with Barley Mumba dropping to the bench. Lots of changes. You see this sometimes from Shuey, don't you? But this one, there are a lot. There's been a lot of games played, obviously. But what for you sticks out from that, Brian?
Yeah, well, obviously Randall getting his goal and getting that opportunity to sort of start. Looking at the pictures just previously, the how he was embraced when he got that winner. The celebrations afterwards were immense. So he's got his chance again alongside Butcher. Butcher hasn't played in a while. I don't know when he's last started a game. To be fair, it's been a while. So that's a big sort of statement from the manager. He probably wants fresh legs in there. I think he'll pick a team that he thinks wants to win the game. Yes, but 100% he's obviously thinking of 3 games in a week, that type of stuff, and he's got to make sure he utilises the squad. And there's a couple of big games coming up, but I don't think it'll be in his mindset thinking, right, we're going to just put out a weaker side here. I think he'll be going out thinking this team can go and get a result for us. But lots of changes, and it's interesting, lots of changes in the back 4 as well. So yeah, but for me, it's an opportunity for these boys to give the manager a headache, and that's what they've got to do, but there's lots of quality up the top of the pitch. We've got our main Azaz, Whitaker, and Bundu, who I thought Bundu was really good again against Stoke. And Callum Wright as well. When he came on, I thought he looked really fresh. Lots of good ideas. So hopefully, and he'll have a point to prove playing against his old side as well. So, yeah, I think the manager would have really focused on the last couple of days, making sure this team are set up well to give Leicester a few headaches.
You mentioned Bundu starting again. In his 2 previous starts, he's scored. This was the goal against Sheffield Wednesday. He, of course, scored last weekend as well. What is it that he sort of brings to this side, do you think? What do you like about him?
I thought against Stoke, when he went out wide, I thought he was a bit more influential, to be honest. I thought he was able to get off the line and give it more space. I think he'd be... he doesn't maybe get in behind as much. I think he's a really good ball player. He likes to link up the play. But when he gets into those sort of channel areas and off the wide, I think he's quite very, very effective. But we got a good bench to come off. But yeah, Bundu seems a really good sign. It'd be good to maybe seeing him playing alongside Hardy as well. When Hardy gets his fitness. But yeah, I think he's seemed a bit more comfortable coming off the wide for me, because he can maybe come on and he's left foot or right foot and get shots off. Yeah,
versatility though, isn't it? Yeah, that you can play in a couple of different areas. You mentioned the defence as well. 3 of that back 4 changed. Mikael Miller, Joe Edwards coming back on in the flanks, Plagwithello through the middle. We saw Galloway start quite maybe surprisingly last weekend, and Stephen Schumacher said afterwards it was to kind of counter the fact that Stoke like to be direct and they've got a couple of bigger players forward. Maybe, and we'll have a look at the Leicester side in just a sec, but maybe the likes of Miller being in there quicker to deal with those more direct, trickier, pacier wingers.
Yeah, I would guess.
Leicester?
Yeah, I would think so. I think the manager's very pragmatic. I think against Stoke, there was that diagonal ball they tried to play to Campbell, weren't they? And Galloway was able to deal with that, really. I thought Galloway was really good for his first game back in a while as well. So, yeah, and I think obviously Miller's got that bit of pace, but Miller can drive you forward as well and get you up the pitch. He's very, very good at sort of getting you out the pitch and getting crosses in. He's very direct when he gets in the right areas. So, yeah, lots of changes, but Gibson keeps his place. He must think Gibson's a bit of a stalwart in there and wants to be, that bit of sort of consistency in there. I thought, I know he was at fault for the first goal against Stoke, but I thought, since he's come here, he's been pretty sort of emphatic, really, his performances. One man on match on a few occasions as well, isn't he? So,
well, even after making that mistake, he put in a pretty decent performance for the rest of the game, didn't he?
A couple of really big blocks he put in.
Well, let's have a look at the Leicester side. I mentioned the changes that Stephen Schumacher has made, and I've kind of alluded to the fact that Leicester have that more direct, quicker wingers, well, definitely more so than Stoke did last weekend. Their manager, Enzo Maresca, has made 3 changes from the side that won it late against West Brom last weekend. The goal scorer from that day, Harry Winks, is one of those that keeps his spot. Ricardo Pereira, though, is out suspended. Hamza Chowdhury comes in to replace him and captains the side, actually, from right back. Iheanacho and McAteer, the other 2 to drop out, with Fatawa and Daka coming in. No place for Iheanacho or Jamie Vardy on the Leicester City bench. Obviously, Dewsbury Hall has been in fine form this season. 6 goals, 4 assists for him. He'll be one to look out for. I mean, where do you start with that Leicester side? Even without the likes of Iheanacho and Vardy and Ricardo Pereira, there is still immense quality throughout it, isn't there?
Yeah, that's scary when you look at them in the sense that that's not even their strongest side, and there are lots of really quality players. You'd say Dewsbury Hall, I think he's been immense. To score that amount of goals and those assists from midfield is pretty special. I think he came into his own last year, didn't he, when he's in the Premiership, and he seems to have got into a really good space for them in the Championship. He's driving them forward. I think he got Vestergaard, Danish international, isn't he, I think, and really experienced Premiership player. They just got quality all over the pitch, to be honest, and it'll be a difficult game for Argyle, but the pressure is on them. I was reading they've got something like 7-8 players out of contract at the end of the season, so they have to go up this year, because then that's 2 years out of the top flight's going to hurt them financially, so they're throwing everything into it to go up. So the pressure's on them today, and they've had they won against West Brom in the last game, but they've had a few results of late that maybe hasn't gone their way. Performances haven't gone their way, so yeah, but they're a top side.
It's interesting you say that as well, because obviously they went on that incredible winning run, didn't they? I can't remember how many games it was, but they also won all of their games at home until Hull got the better of them. They are still top, point clear of Ipswich, but in their last 4 or 5 matches, they have had to score late. Harry Winks got the late winner against West Brom. I think they've scored 4 goals in the last 15 minutes in their last 5 matches. Yeah. And sometimes you can have all the quality in the world, and they are top, obviously, and they've got great players, but you do still have to churn it out in the Championship, don't you? It isn't always going to be 4-0, 5-0, 3-0.
No, it's the league's relentless. The league, I've really enjoyed watching the Championship this year. Sometimes it's even better watching the Premiership, to be honest. It's a real enjoyable game. Teams really go at each other. And Leicester, I think, did Leicester lose the last home game against Leeds? Did they? I think
well, it's a couple of weeks ago. They lost it just before we played Leeds.
So that at home, we could, the pressure's on them. We could get at them and make it difficult for them. But this league there's no. I think if you're down 5-10%, you're not going to get results. And you've got to be at it at your maximum, no matter who you're playing. So this will be a tough game for both sides, and Argyle just got to make it as difficult as possible for Leicester. The longer it stays at maybe 0-0 makes it more difficult. That frustration, and Argyle just got to stay in the game. They'll be up against it at times. They will be backs to the wall at times, but they've just got to stay in the game. If they get that opportunity from a set piece or on the break and the amount of goals we score from long distance as well, shooting on sight, I don't think Whittaker needs any encouragement to do that. So you never know, but. We'll see in about
in a couple of hours' time.
Yeah, we'll
exactly. It will be tough, but of course Argyle come into it off the back of that incredible last-minute winner against Stoke City. Adam Randall getting the goal. I think we don't need an excuse to watch it again, so we may as well just go through it once more.
Tall team Stoke. Josh Laurent is still just feeling the effects of that challenge, entering in behind Lewis Gibson. The free kick is swung into the Argyle box. It's a decent looking one, and Cooper had to get down to his right hand side.
Trying to play through those areas, too often, so that there's positives so far, Charlie. It's just trying to make sure we resettle and go again.
Scar's giving the ball away, and now Ryan Mai trying to get in behind the Argyle defence. Gibson closest to him. Mai goes for goal. Doesn't have any real control in this game yet. Halfway through the first half, and Ryan Mai's got in behind the Argyle defence and scores a huge switch off at the back.
And the likes of Azaz to then kind of play into.
Breaks nicely for Vidigal, 25 yards out, gets it onto his right foot away from Scar. Can he get a shot away? Yes, it's blasted over at the near post.
At the momentum with us.
Argyle come again though. Here is Kesler Hayden. Looks up, delivers low. Bundu is there! He's equalised! It's a beautiful finish from Mustafa Bundu. Martin Azaz Kundal out in on the yellow card incident with Bundu, Mumba,
great ball,
and Whittaker. And here is Mustafa Bundu. Field and Stoke might look to profit from it. Jun Ho, there's plenty of Stoke players in attack here. One of them is my left-footed shot. Now Galloway. Azaz. Galloway continues his run into the box. Azaz onto his left foot. Now his right. Not quite enough room to shoot. He finds Kundal with the pass.
Really good.
And his volley
really excellent.
Butcher just sits in as he Continues his run forward, Gibson. Here's Callum Wright. Into Azaz. Little reverse pass to Hardy. On his right foot, oh, it's over the top. This is last chance saloon here at Home Park. Callum Wright. Jinks inside, plays it in. Chance for Kendall off the line. Randall is in. Yes! Adam Randall! Yes! 100th appearance for Argyle at the Devonport end.
4, 3, 2, 1, and out.
Still kind of gives you goosebumps, doesn't it, watching that back? I don't think anyone will tire of it. You were at Home Park as well for BBC Radio Devon that day. It kind of took me back to last season a couple of times. Those late winners, never say die, comeback victories. I don't know. Just it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a brilliant end, and the perfect person to go and get the winner for us, wasn't it? The local lad, first home goal, wasn't it? Yeah, I was saying to you off air, I thought the manager needs a lot of praise because I thought he made some crucial changes at crucial times of the game. There was about 10-15 minutes ago where I think Stoke said, we're going to get a point here. Yeah. And we went, no, we're going to go and get 3. And I think the manager takes a lot of credit for that. And the changes he made all worked. You know, Randall was playing it right back area, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I
pops up in there from right back.
Callum Wright, brilliant bit of composure, because you're thinking, right, everyone's saying, just get it in the box. But he was the one that cut it back on his right foot and then just try and put a quality ball in the box. I felt that was really good. But yeah, no, it was a brilliant finish because it wasn't an easy finish. He's gone with his side foot, but he's gone with pace and power. And I think you can hear Aaron Cusack's celebrations in the background. I think he was his coach, wasn't he? In the academy years ago, so this probably means a lot for him to see him, putting that away really. But yeah, what a finish. Yeah,
I think both Aaron and myself and everybody in Home Park kind of lost their composure for a little bit there. Yeah. But you can accept it, can't you?
Of course you can.
That is interesting, actually. You mentioned the substitutes because that's another throwback to last season. I think I can't remember the exact stat, but we were leading for goals contributions from substitutes, and Callum Wright coming on, Adam Randall obviously getting the winner, Matt Butcher just shoring it up in the middle. They all start today, and that, I suppose, you can look at on paper and say 6 changes is loads, but they made an impact in the last game. And that's what you ask for from subs, don't you? And you think, go on, make a difference, and you might get a start the next game. And I don't know whether that is the reason they're starting, but it kind of shows that no matter whether you're starting or not, you're going to be given a chance, maybe, doesn't it?
I think the manager has been brilliant in the sense of, like, last year he was like changing his centre forwards quite a bit, wasn't he? And going to make teams have to really think about how they're going to play against us. He wasn't very predictable. I thought we were playing the occasion, which was playing the type of team we were going to play against, trying to expose their weaknesses. But you're right, he brought in 3 or 4 changes there with 10-15 minutes to go that made a massive difference. And I think mainly 3 games in a week is really tough at this level. And I think he knows that obviously the QPR is a massive game, and I don't think he's thinking that far. He's thinking if he can get something today, and then we know that the 2 games coming are probably big games in the sense of they're in and around us, aren't they?
Yeah.
So he's making sure he utilises the squad, making sure he's got the right players for the different games, and we've got a quality bench when you look at our bench. So if we're staying in the game and there's 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go, we could maybe then do something with some of our players from the bench as well.
The other thing, 3 games in a week, and it's going to be 6 games in 12 days, going back to last week and this week. Yeah. And then you've also, if you chuck in again the fact that the run up to Christmas is quite busy, where Boxing Day sits. I think it's 8 games in 28 days. So you do have to manage your squad through that physically, don't you?
100%. I think, if you're probably thinking, it's only 90 minutes. That's all they have to do. But please trust me, these lads are probably playing with knocks.
Yeah.
And they're probably, they're probably taking Voltaren all the time, anti-inflammatories, just to try and get through games. That's just the way you do as a professional footballer. And you have to utilise the squad, and the manager's obviously thinking that this is the right way to go. But you're right, 3 games the week before, now 3 games this week, travelling as well. You can't underestimate the fact that Plymouth Argyle have to travel quite long distance on coaches. That's another thing that you have to definitely take into consideration. So yeah, it's I think it's the right decision by the manager, and hopefully he'll get some sort of kudos for we get a result today. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You can find out whether they do get a result today here on Argyle TV. 3,000 members of the Green Army have made the trip up to King Power Stadium in Leicester today. But if you're not one of them, you can follow it right here with us. Audio match passes can be bought for £2.50, and you can stream the game overseas for £10. All of the details of where to get your passes are on our website, pafc.co.uk. Don't go anywhere, though, because there's still plenty of build-up to come right here on the pre-match show.
There's nothing like the start to a new season. The energy, the anticipation, the expectation. You know that buzz in the air. You can feel it. It's going to be our year. It's going to be different this time. It needs to be, for all of us. The emotions of the game get to us all. I know all about that. But whether out on the pitch, in the stands, or on the sidelines, we've all got to do better at all levels. No more surrounding refs, no more abuse, no more intimidation, no more discrimination. Leave the pitch to the players. And those offensive chants, you know the ones. There's never a place for them in the game we love. That beautiful feeling at the start of a new season. Don't ruin it. Let's keep it that way, together. Whether you win, lose or draw, let's make sure that this season is different. We all do it for the love of the game. Let's show our pride and passion in the right way. We all love football, so let's protect the game.
Well, Saturday was not only a milestone match for Adam Randall, like we've been speaking about. One of the club's other prized possessions and players that has come through the academy from such a young age, Michael Cooper made his 150th appearance for the club and was doubly pleased to be able to celebrate that landmark with one of his closest friends.
I was sat on 142 for quite a while, so it's it's quite tedious that 150 was around the corner, but no, to finally get that. Another one ticked off feels good. I'm just looking forward to it in 200 now.
It couldn't have kind of happened on a better day with Adam Randall also making his 100th appearance and getting that last-minute winner. We saw your celebrations together. What was it like sharing that moment with him and seeing him do what he did as well? Yeah, it was mad. On his 100th game to score his first goal here, which is obviously what he's wanted to do for so long. In those sort of circumstances, it's mental, and it's something he'll never forget, and I won't forget it either. So for us to both hit milestones on the same day was pretty cool, and to get 3 points and the way we did it out there was even more special. It's a couple of days out from another absolutely humongous game in the Championship, Leicester City. How do you approach these sorts of matches? I think it's fair to say you've got to have a different mindset and approach going into these games against tougher Premier League experienced teams. Not to say that you're going to roll over and give them the win, but you have to set up differently to than what we do at home against Stoke. So we'll be putting in the work this week. Hoping to get a result on Saturday. You've got family links to Leicester, haven't you? Yeah. Talk to us about those. Yeah, so, well, both my mum and dad's families, both my mum and dad are from Leicester. And then they moved down originally to Plymouth 30 years ago now, and then they went up the road to Exeter. But yeah, before that, Filbert Street, mum and dad were season ticket holders for, God knows how long. And still now, they'll go to a few games with their friends who are obviously still in Leicester. I think Dad went Everton away last year and stuff like that. So it's a club I've always supported as well. It's always been my second team. Been and watched them a few times. So I can't wait to go at the King Power and go play. Yeah. Is there, and this could be a stupid question, is there split loyalties in the family with your mum and your dad? No. Everyone's a pilgrim on Saturday. Yeah, we've got no problem about that. To get our first away win of the season at the King Power Stadium. That'd be unreal, yeah. Yeah, that'd be unreal. Why not? There's no reason why. It's just another game of football. There's no reason why you can't go get a result. I like that attitude, Brian, where you just say, why not? go to Leicester and get the first away win of the season.
Yeah, you've got to have that attitude as a footballer. I think if you go out on a football pitch and you don't think you're going to get a result or play well or make an impression, then there's no point in even turning up, is there? And Argyle will not, manager will not allow that to happen, and they'll give it a go. And as we said, look, it's going to be really difficult. But yeah, they've nothing to lose. For me, the pressure's off. I think what the big thing for me is the Argyle players don't go out there and enjoy it, embrace it, get on the ball, be confident. Don't let the game just pass them by. Actually go and just prove it that they are good enough. And I think that's, for me, is what the type of team talk the manager will have with them. Go and embrace it. This is why you got promoted. You go and play in these types of games. You
fancy that if Argyle are to do well today, he will probably have to have quite a good game, just because of the nature of how Leicester play?
Yeah, I think there's probably 3 or 4 critical positions for any team. I think your centre forward and your goalkeeper and your centre midfielder. If those sort of spine of your team play well, you normally get a decent result, to be honest. And yeah, hopefully he's not called upon too much. But yeah, more than likely he's going to have to be on his game to make a few crucial saves for us. And to be fair, I think he's done really well. He's come back from a really nasty injury.
And that can't be underestimated, even as a goalkeeper, can it? To step up a level. He's never played at this level before. And also to come back in after 6-7 months out with an ACL and kind of look, like he did before the injury.
Yeah, and there's that expectation, that pressure to get back to where he was, and the fans are thinking, so I think he's done remarkably well. You're always you're gonna find it tough. You have to get that sort of rhythm back in your game. It's probably a bit more from an outfield player. It's probably a little bit even harder in a sense. But as a goalkeeper, you make a mistake as a goal type thing. So don't know the position that well to sort of critique in the sense of what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong. But from what I look at, he looks really confident on the ball, and his distributions is really good. It gets you out, it gets you up the pitch, really, doesn't it? And the way that Schumacher likes to play through the lines, if you can get the ball to your fullbacks early and they can play it through the lines quickly, then that really helps you get up the pitch.
Last weekend was milestones on the pitch for Adam Randall and Michael Cooper. This week, it was the manager's turn. Steven Schumacher on Thursday celebrated his 2-year anniversary of being Argyle manager. And what a 2 years it's been.
To come from the first game at MK Dons away, how many was there that night? Like 7,000 maybe?
Yeah.
6,000-7,000 in total.
Yeah, probably.
To going away to Leicester City, as you say, former Premier League champions and a huge club, to go there in the Championship. It's brilliant. So come a long way in 2 years. As I say, I've loved it. It's been a brilliant journey. Feel as though we've learnt loads and still got loads more to go.
Yeah. We've had a couple of games like this already this season. If you look at Southampton and Leeds, and you've kind of spoken about how you prepared for them. Is this a similar sort of way to try and prepare for like you did for them, or is this different again, given the way that they are playing at the moment?
No, our message to the players will be the same. Like, yeah, we know what their strengths are. We've all spoke about how good their style of play is. We know what the individuals all do, but we don't want to go there and stand and admire them, sit back and admire it. I think that doesn't suit us, doesn't suit our philosophy of how we want to go about it. So we'll go there and try and be positive and have a go and see where it takes us. It's one of them games where we know we're up against it, but if you're not brave, if you're not positive, you don't get on the front foot, then we won't get anything from it. So that'll be our best way, and hopefully we can implement that.
I imagine the group are pretty in a real confident mood at the minute, coming off that incredible last-minute winner against Stoke, heading into Leicester. Yeah. How do you try and harness that feeling, that emotion through the week?
Well, obviously everyone come in at the start of the week. Adam still had a great big huge smile on his face, and yeah, as you say, people, the mood is better when you've won on a Saturday, especially when you've got a clear week. So yeah, that's fine. But the lads also are professional enough that when they turn up today and even on Tuesday, we're already talking about the next game, which is Leicester City. So that the one on Saturday against Stoke is gone, and it's time to prepare for this one. So it's been good. The lads, as you say, are in good spirits. Everybody, I think, is doing okay. We're playing well. I think the previous week getting 6 points from them 3 games was really important. We didn't play great in the Coventry game, but could have got a point. So we've got to try and continue that form and that momentum. Obviously going up against it, huge challenge on Saturday, but we're excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad place to
get a first away win of the season, would it?
No, definitely wouldn't. No, obviously it's one of them things. I hear a lot about it, and I know a lot of people are talking about the away form, and I get it, I understand it, but as long as we're picking up points, I don't care where the points are picked up. So we think we've played well enough away from home. Haven't managed to find a way to win yet. We've got 4 draws, I think we've had. So yeah, we just keep going, keep believing in what we're doing, and one day it'll turn.
It is something that keeps being brought up, Brian, the away form. As he kind of said there, I suppose if we get 56 points, let's just say, and 50 of them have come at home, we stay up, it doesn't really matter. Does it get in players' heads, do you think, the fact that it's an away game we haven't won yet?
I think if you allow it to, it could. But I think you've got to just take each game as it comes. All the cliches do come out, and literally just play the game in front of you and just try and get a result. I don't think he'll let that affect them. But the main aim of this season is to stay up, isn't it? And then build on that. I think he'll just want to look at some of these away games and think, where could he have got the points? Where did they go wrong? And they might have sort of video analysis now where they can sort of really look at a game in detail and find out where they lost that game. You look at for instance the Coventry game. That's like a referee's mistake. Do you know what I mean? That's just their things are out of your control. You look at some of the Ipswich away game. They were really unlucky that day. That was an own goal, wasn't it? It's little individual errors have affected us, but then things just haven't gone our way. Little decisions here and there. But I think he will just keep it really balanced. That's what I really like about Schumacher. He's really level-headed in the sense of, really gets it for me, and he's really sort of humble, isn't he? Really humble.
We were speaking a lot last week about Adam Randall and Michael Cooper getting to their landmark games, 100 for Randall, 150 for Coops. But on Thursday it was 2 years in charge for Shuey. And it has been an incredible 2 years as well, hasn't it? Since he's come in, just to where Argyle are now, it's been absolutely insane. Yeah,
he's like unbelievable job. I think it was the Ipswich manager Kieran, what's his name? McKenna. He was getting all the plaudits, wasn't he? But like for me, he was the top man because the budget he had and what he's done and the way he's taken the team to another level from Ryan Lowe. His first real manager's job as well. I think he's adapted brilliantly and he's learning all the time. And I think he's got really good people alongside him, hasn't he, in the club to really support him. He seems to really enjoy living in the city as well, doesn't he? And I think that's really important as well. When you enjoy living down here, you enjoy he gets the fan base. He gets what the Plymouth fans want, the Argyle fans want. So amazing. Just a very quick one on. There was a lot of talk in the week as well, actually, about him being linked to other jobs. There were 2 jobs in the Championship that came up. Swansea, Michael Duff got sacked there, and Tony Mowbray went from Sunderland. He quashed it in press in the week and said there'd be no contact and that this is the perfect club for him. And as you say, he does love living in the area. But just on that, I mean, it will be inevitable that if Argyle are doing well, he's going to be someone that clubs are going to be looking at. And you've kind of got to, I think, look at it from a fan's perspective of, if he's doing well for Argyle, that's only a good thing. Yeah, and that's the reality of football. The better you do, people are going to sit up and listen and then look and go on and see what he's all about. And I think he's come out and he's not sort of stayed quiet on it. He's come out and been really transparent. He's happy here. He wants to stay here, and I think that's really refreshing as well. It really sort of grates on me a little bit when you see a manager having a sort of decoy statement or making you think, well, what's behind that sort of comment type thing. But he's very transparent and I think it's the right move for him because I think if he goes to another club, he's maybe not have the back end, the infrastructure, and the support staff that he would maybe he has here. And this is only his first manager's job, isn't it? And he's so he's learning all the time. And I think it's the inevitable will happen if we keep continuing to progress. Then there's a chance that teams will come and make formal offers and maybe make him think type thing. But at the moment, I think he's totally in the right place. And as you say, Charlie, if that's happened, then that's only good for Argyle because Argyle are doing really well. Good way to look at it. One of those coaching staff members that has helped Stephen Schumacher settle in at Plymouth Argyle is Kevin Nanskaville. He was probably the proudest man in Plymouth last weekend as he watched the likes of Cooper and Randall from the age of 9 and 10 grow through the academy and, of course, become stars now in the Argyle first team. But what was it like for him
Here he is.
Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic achievement, wasn't it? Roy the Rover stuff for Rans, 100th game, 97th minute, first goal at Argyle at home park. So I say Devonport end, doesn't get any better than that, does it? And Mike, 150 appearances as a young goalkeeper, which he still is. So fantastic day for everybody concerned with the club, fantastic day for everybody concerned with the academy. So one that will live long in the memory, I'm sure.
This got brought up post-match, and it may have been you or someone else that has said it to me previously, that you kind of become a professional footballer at 100 games. You can kind of think, yes, I've established myself now. To have been able to do that, both of them, obviously, Coops did it beforehand, but to have been able to do it at the club that they've been with all the time, what do you think that would mean to them as well?
It means virtually everything. That they wear that shirt with so much pride every day in training. That they've got a bounce, they've got a smile. The pride that they have playing for their hometown club is evident in what they see and what you see, and that shows on the pitch. So to reach 100 games and 150 games between the two of them when they've come through from the younger age groups is a fantastic achievement, and it means not just to them, it means so much to the families as well. All Plymouth people come from the academy. For the academy staff, it means a hell of a lot. You know, there's a lot of the coaches that have done work with both of those boys, not just one or two, a lot of people. And for the lads that are in the academy now, such an inspiration to say, look, this can happen. These lads were you 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and now look what they're up to. So it's great for everybody, and they just got to keep working hard and hopefully tot up more games.
Yeah. It also means a lot to the fans as well, doesn't it? You could hear the support on Saturday after that Stoke game, singing the You're One of Our Own. That's been sung to plenty of players over the years, but you're an Argyle man. You know, when you were growing up and you saw local heroes doing so well, it means just a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does mean a little bit more. We'd all have a team of boys coming from Plymouth. You know, that's going to be a tough call, but we have got two come from our academies, so the supporters certainly enjoy that, and I know the lads love that feeling as well, so long may it continue.
You mentioned inspiration. Everybody needs something to try and aspire towards, and if you speak to Mike Cooper, for example, he'd have spoken about Luke McCormick and people like that before him. Similarly with Rans and players in the Argyle first team. They are now the inspirations, aren't they, those two?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, they've come through the academy. It wasn't so long ago that they were fighting to get an under-16 contract, fighting to get an apprentice contract, which they've all done. So I think the lads in the academy can resonate with them. They can see themselves in them in the future, hopefully, and it does give them inspiration that, you know, it does happen. You can get on the pitch, and if you are good enough and you work hard enough and you're dedicated enough, you'll get an opportunity.
They are two of a few, obviously, that have broken into the first team over the last few seasons, which is great. And you've kind of alluded to it there, but what exactly is it that a under-16 or an under-18 will be thinking when they see the likes of Rans and Coops and Luke Jeffcott doing what they were doing in recent years, and Ryan Law as well?
Well, I hope they'll be thinking, I can do it, and I hope they have the belief and the desire to follow the same path that these two have. It does take a lot of hard work. You know, Coops, Rans, Luke Jeffcott, Ryan Law, and many more before that. You know, have all had a fantastic attitude to work, and a real desire to be the best they possibly can at their job every single day. So they need to have that, and they need to have the talent as well. So lots of things come together to give them that chance. But like you said, by seeing Rans and Coops out there at the minute, it surely should give them more hope and belief that maybe one day they can get there as well.
It really was the proudest man in Plymouth last weekend by an absolute mile. And incidentally, we'll be showing highlights of Argyle Under-18's FA Youth Cup third round tie against Crystal Palace at half-time in the game today. Still, plenty of build-up to come here on Argyle TV with the Greens up in Leicester for the first time in 13 years. Don't go anywhere. Let's focus on Leicester for a little bit now then. And Enzo Maresca, their manager, was the one tasked with taking Leicester back to the Premier League following their relegation last season. He's a disciple of Pep Guardiola's, was an assistant there for many a years at Manchester City. And it is going well so far for him. He is, however, worried about Argyle and what they can do to them.
It's a very complicated team. I think the best of the championship, or the second, probably it's the second in terms of counter-attacker after Leeds. So we need to be careful, especially when we have the ball. They are dangerous. And we need to control the game. We need to control the tempo of the game. And also they have very good player like Whittaker, that is very good profile, very good winger, dangerous on the ball. So, and they are doing fantastic job since already 2-3 years.
How do you tactically guard against that kind of counter-attacking football when you play quite an expansive possession-based game? How quickly do you have to be wary of that transition?
Yeah, probably. As I said, when you face a team that they are dangerous when they have the ball, probably you need to behave in one way. But when they are dangerous when we have the ball, probably we need to control, as all we said many times, we need to control. First of all, we have to try to keep the ball in the best way we can. Don't give away in easy way. And in the moment that if happen that we give away the ball in easy way or they are able to recover the ball, we need to be able to avoid transition.
And finally, Enzo, after 2 away games back-to-back, you're now back at King Power Stadium as well. For 2 back-to-back home games, that must feel like a big thing and nice to be home, but also quite a nice opportunity with 2 back-to-back home games as well.
Absolutely. I think that we're going to start a very important moment of the season tomorrow. And as you said, because we have 2 games at home, we need our fans 100% tomorrow be with us, because as I said, we are an important moment, and tomorrow is an important game. The next one will be an important game, and we need all of them behind the team, pushing the team, and all together try to win the game.
It's always nice, isn't it, hearing opposition managers, and especially one that's worked at the very top, talk so glowingly about Argyle, that he's worried about the way that we counterattack.
Yeah, and he's talking about making sure they don't give away possession needlessly, and making sure, because Argyle are pretty good on transition, and rightly so. Yeah, so nice words to hear. You do hear a lot of managers give the opposing team credit as well. Don't because they want to give them any more motivation getting into a game, but. Yeah, rightly so. That's Argyle's strength. Argyle can play quickly through the lines and get at you. Zaz and Whittaker, for me, the 2 players that can hurt Leicester today. So yeah, we'll see if that sort of transpires. But yeah, they've done their homework, watched Argyle, and Argyle are a really good side to watch, aren't they? Especially at home. So if they can sort of replicate that bit of home form today, they'll give Leicester problems.
Just on him and on Leicester, they're sitting top of the table. They're a point clear of Ipswich. They've been one of the standout sides this season. And when you look at their squad like we've done, you'd think, well, of course they should be there. But it is quite a tough job, isn't it, to come in, brand new manager, you've been an assistant before, and the expectation is that you're going to walk the league. To come in and kind of have to do it is a lot more difficult than just what people are saying in press or the fans are thinking.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of doom and gloom at a club when they get relegated from the Premiership, and there's a lot of pressure, and it's an interesting choice. They haven't gone for an experienced Championship manager. They've gone for someone that maybe a style of play that they want to, maybe the long-term goal as well of the right manager for them on that basis. So yeah, I think the pressure is on them, and he's done remarkably well. And a lot of players they lost as well. They've lost Madison, and they're probably their best player. Tielemans as well, so they've had to, and there's you look at that side. There's still quite a few academy players on that side as well. Dewsbury Hall, the captain Chowdhury through the academy as well. So they've got strength and depth as well through the academy, as I said, and that's probably one of their strengths. They've probably got one of the best training grounds, and they attract probably really good. They're sort of central in the country, and they're probably a radius of good sort of young players that can get through that way as well.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall. You've already mentioned him earlier, and we'll talk about him in just a sec. But he is a player, isn't he? He looks like he belongs far higher than the Championship.
Yeah, he's gone out on loan, and he went on loan in Blackpool and played a lot of games and got his experience. And Brendan Rodgers gave him the opportunity last year, and yeah, he's taken it. He looks immense. And for me, the way he gets in the box late and scores some of those goals is pretty special. So yeah, he's a top player for them.
15 minutes to go until kickoff then at the King Power Stadium. You can see it's filling up nicely. Leicester supporters making their way in, the two sets of players going through their warm-ups. But let's have a look at the two sides again. Let's get a reminder, refresh ourselves with who is playing. And Argyle there, you can see 6 changes made from the side that beat Stoke last weekend. Callum Wright comes into the side, first start since his injury that was picked up at the start of the season against the club where he started his professional career. Mikael Miller, Plegwithello, Butcher, and Randall are also players coming in to that side. Just on that midfield duo, let's call it, with the Zaz playing a little bit further forward, but Houghton's been a mainstay this season for Argyle, Brian. Randall we've spoken about, obviously. Matt Butcher, I think it's just his second league start of the season. Doesn't get a lot of game time from the start, but he kind of quietly goes about his business, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a massive engine, doesn't he? He gets about the pitch. I think he's one of the fittest in the squad, I believe. And yeah, so him and Randall are going to have to probably sit in there and try and keep us in the game and make it difficult for Leicester. And it's interesting to see if we play quite deep and try and just hit them on the break, that type of thing, and then not allow any spaces in between the lines. Because I think Stoke did that pretty well against us. They didn't allow Whittaker and Zaz to get in those little holes that we normally get into. So we'll see if we can maybe do the same today. But you're right. It's quite a lot of changes. The back four have had a few changes as well, but they'll know each other really well from training every day. And the manager's obviously talked about, respecting Leicester, but we're not going to be in all of them. We're going to actually give it a go and take the game to them as well. So, yeah, be an interesting game. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the game plays out and see what way the change and what way the manager set the tone and how he wants them to play, really.
Just quickly on Callum Wright as well. He had that cameo in the game against Stoke and the win against Stoke last week, was involved in the build-up for the goal. What does he bring to the team that Barley Mumba doesn't, having come in for him? Obviously, a different sort of player, but how does this game maybe suit him?
I think first of all, he's playing against his old side, so that's maybe one. There's always that motivation that you want to, they sort of sold and whatever, they didn't maybe think he was right for them type things. So you'll want to prove them wrong. I think he's very good at getting the ball on his back foot and turning and getting and opening the game out, that type of stuff. And he's very composed on the ball. I think he was playing quite well before he got injured, wasn't he? And injuries just put you off your sort of form a little bit. But I think very, very confident on the ball, and he sees a pass, that type of stuff, and composed and makes the right decisions. For me, I know as a wide person, maybe you'd have just thrashed that cross in with his left foot on with a minute to go because you're that panic to try and get that winner. But he was composed, came back and found the opportunity to put a really good ball in. He's just a really, really quality player, to be honest. Totally different to Mumba. Mumba's very much direct run and likes these they play with his back to the touchline type thing. Where I think Callum Wright's very good at in the half spaces on the half turn. Bit like Condor, really. Yep,
absolutely. Right, let's have a look at the Leicester side. They've also made some changes from the win against West Brom, which is also a late win. 3 in total. They've had to replace Ricardo Pereira, who picked up a yellow card and is now out for this game, suspended. So Hamza Chowdhury comes in to replace him and captains the side. The other 2 changes are in attack, with Patson Daka and Fatawu coming in for Iheanacho and Makatia. Interesting one, Patson Daka, because he was brought in a couple of seasons ago from Salzburg, I think it was. He scored a lot of goals. Didn't really get going in the Premier League. This is only his second appearance in the Championship. And we mentioned Iheanacho, Jamie Vardy not involved as well. 2 players that know the English game, but Patson Daka, something completely different, and maybe something to prove as well, that he wants to play more, he wants to get involved.
Well, the fact that he was signed when he was a Premiership side and he's not getting a game in the Championship, he's probably disappointed, isn't he? And you're right, and it could go one or two ways, can't it? It could be that attitude where and a sulking attitude, and maybe he won't turn up today, and hopefully he doesn't from an Argyle perspective.
Absolutely.
But maybe he'll go out there with a point to prove and want to show the manager why he should be in his plans a bit more and he should be selected. But yeah, they've got quality, as we said. Like Mavididi as well.
Yeah.
Really, he's a really England youth international, hasn't he? I think he was at Arsenal. He started his career, and he'd been Juventus as well. I think he went to Juventus on under 21 or something like that. So yeah, he's a really good player. Looking forward to seeing him as well. So yeah, Argyle just got to making sure those defend properly, don't make individual mistakes, and hopefully they'll get Whittaker and Azaz to get that half a chance to maybe create something for us.
That is the hope, and we are getting closer and closer to kick-off at King Power Stadium. You can see it's filling up nicely there. First time in 13 years that Argyle are making the journey to Leicester. There are fond memories from that 2008 game, a 1-0 win, which Peter Helm-Mosey scored in, but it was defeat last time out. So hoping to change that, of course. If you haven't got your match pass yet, you can get it on our website, pafc.co.uk. International supporters can stream the game for £10. UK-based fans, £2.50 is what it will cost you to get an audio match pass. Ryan Brunt, former Argyle striker, and Rob McNichol will be bringing you commentary from King Power Stadium. And we will be handing over very, very shortly. We'll continue our build-up after this, though. Don't go anywhere.
Let's get it pumping, I'm looking away. Go tell mother I'm cooking the game. Flow like water bubbling up where you want me to make. Taking you back in the days, feeling immaculate, mate. Action packed back to back while you yapping away. I got a knack to react, but I'm packing a grace. Up to the max with a fact, let me grab the space. I had to map the place, who got a laughing face? One long and strong, looking like a stack full of hate. It goes on and on, way to the back of the bank. This phenomenon's on, I don't even have to say. I'm where I belong, this is not back in the, you know. I go where I wanna, a fair warning for anybody with hair on them. You can't stop me, it gets sloppy.
Just before kick-off, though, we'll have a look at some of the other games that are going on in the Championship today. There was a game yesterday involving two sides from the Midlands, which Coventry won 2-0 against Birmingham City. Wayne Rooney's struggles continuing. But as you can see there, a couple of early kick-offs have already finished with Leeds and Sunderland getting wins. Middlesbrough and Ipswich is a game to look out for, involving two sides, of course, that are wanting to finish in those promotion places at the end of the season. We'll get to find out how our next opponents, QPR, get on today at home against Hull City. Argyle go there, of course, on Wednesday for a 7:45 kickoff, or the build-up from 6:45, a match you can watch live on Argyle TV. And Stoke, who Argyle, of course, beat on Saturday, they host Sheffield Wednesday, looking to end a run of poor form for them. Brian, final thoughts from you then on this. We've already spoken about how tough it could be for Argyle, and probably will be. How do they go about trying to mastermind a first away win of the season?
Yeah, well, it's going to be very difficult for one, but I think, as Cooper said, let's go and just give it a go. No fear. The manager will instill that in the side, and his team go and enjoy it and embrace it. I think that's the most crucial thing, is you come off that pitch thinking, I could have done more, could have impacted the game a bit more, just have no regrets, basically. And I think that's the attitude Argyle lads should have. And you never know. For me, the pressure's all on Leicester. No, the expectation for Argyle to get 3 points here today is not as highest. So Argyle just got to enjoy the occasion. Pitch looked absolutely fantastic. Just, perfect day to play football, really.
And there they are, 3,000 Argyle supporters who have made the journey up to King Power Stadium. Right, let's hand across, shall we? Commentary of Argyle against Leicester City. The first time that the Greens have been there in 13 years is coming up next.
Chipped it towards Noon with a header, perfectly placed.